Welcome back to Tile the World. You know we love to take deep dives into all things tile.
That's right.
And today we're going to be talking about something that's super important for tile designers and salespeople,
Okay.
which is mastering the job site visit.
Yeah.
It
can make or break a project.
can make or break a project, that's for sure.
For sure.
So to help us on this deep dive, we have a few forces. We've got a YouTube video from sales trainer Elliot Vigil.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some tips on what to bring to a job site from a text excerpt.
Okay.
We also have a designer's perspective on the importance of job site visits from a YouTube channel called Mac and Blue.
Nice.
And to round it all out, we have a really helpful job site visit checklist.
Cool.
So let's just dive right in. The first thing that came up in pretty much all of our sources
Okay.
is being respectful when you go to a job site.
Yeah, being respectful is huge.
And being safe, of course,
Of course.
because it is, a busy and sometimes hazardous environment,
Mm-hmm.
and you are a guest there.
Absolutely.
So you have to make sure that you are acting accordingly.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy,
Right.
that guy that just rubs everybody the wrong way.
Right. And Elliot Vigil, in his YouTube video, he kind of talks about how some salespeople,
Okay.
they just go in there and they're like vomiting all over the general contractor,
Oh, yeah.
talking about how great their company is and all these promises they can't keep.
Right. And it's like, dude, the GC has got enough on their plate.
Exactly.
They don't need you breathing down their neck.
So how can we avoid being that salesperson?
So first of all, PPE. Right.
PPE.
Hard hat, safety glasses, vest, all that jazz.
Got it.
You got to show them that you respect the rules of the site,
And I've also heard that, don't show up in, company swag, head to toe, looking like a walking billboard.
Oh, yeah. Nobody wants to see that. It's tacky.
Yeah, tacky.
Be subtle. Blend in a little.
Yeah, be a fly on the wall.
Exactly. Be observant. Read the room.
Wow.
Before you even step out of your truck, take a second, assess the situation.
Uh-huh.
If things are looking chaotic, maybe it's not the best time to barge in there,
That's a really good point. I remember one time I went to a job site and
Yeah.
I had no idea they were pouring concrete that day.
Oh, no.
And it was just mud and everybody was running around.
It's just the worst.
And I was like, hey, how's it going? And they're just like, not now.
Yeah, exactly. Read the room. Timing is everything on a job site.
Yeah, timing is everything. So, okay, we show up.
Right.
We've got the right time. We're not interrupting anything crazy.
Right.
We got our PPE on.
Looking sharp.
Not looking like a billboard.
Subtle.
What next?
Check in at the trailer.
The trailer, okay.
Yeah, super important for safety and accountability. And, it's a chance to make a good first impression. Introduce yourself to the site manager, explain why you're there, follow the sign-in procedures, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's also a good opportunity to get the lay of the land, check out the site, see what's going on, observe the overall atmosphere, see how fast things are moving, what kind of materials are being used, that kind of thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Just kind of get the vibe.
Exactly. You want to be in tune with the rhythm of the job site.
Okay, so we've got our, the respect and safety down.
Right. The basics.
Yeah, the basics.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about being prepared.
Yeah. Being prepared is huge.
Our little text excerpt here about the essential tools for tile designers
Okay.
really kind of dives into this.
Cool.
And the first thing they say is being prepared shows the client you're serious about their project.
Absolutely. It's like you're showing up ready to work, you're not messing around.
Right.
And it makes you more efficient and effective on site. Like you're a superhero with your toolkit.
I love that. Superhero with your toolkit.
Right. Imagine this, okay? Client's like, I wonder how this tile would look with a slightly darker grout. Instead of fumbling with your phone or trying to describe it, you just whip out your grout samples bam.
You're a pro.
Like a pro.
Yeah.
Prepared for anything.
That's awesome. And it's not just grout samples, right? It's
Oh, no, it's way more than that. You got your tape measure, your level, notepad, and pen, a good camera, of course.
right.
And then depending on the project, you might need tile samples, grout samples, layout tools, moisture meters, even a digital tablet for sketching.
Okay, so we've got our tools.
Right?
We're dressed right. We're ready to impress.
Ready to rock.
What else?
Documentation. Document everything.
Document everything.
Okay. Our job site visit checklist, it really stresses this. Taking detailed photos and videos, and it even gives you a little shot list so you don't miss anything.
Okay.
Think of it like building a visual story of the project.
Okay, a visual story. And why is that so important?
Well, first of all, it helps you remember stuff, like specific details that you might forget later.
Makes sense.
And then it helps you communicate with the client and the contractor clearly. Like, you can show them exactly what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
And then, and this is important, it can actually protect you legally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if there's ever any kind of dispute, you've got proof.
That's a good point. So what kind of photos are we talking about? Like, what should we be taking pictures of?
Everything. Okay, start with the overall context of the space, right?
Yeah.
Then get close-ups of any existing conditions that might affect the tile installation, and of course, progress photos as the work goes on.
Okay, so we're talking about like cracks in the substrate, uneven surfaces,
Oh yeah, all that stuff.
moisture problems, even how materials are being stored on site.
You got it. Those photos, they can help you spot potential issues early on and avoid those costly mistakes down the road.
Right, because like if you see a crack in the substrate,
Yeah.
that needs to be addressed before they put the tile down.
Exactly.
You can show the client a picture
Boom, there it is.
and be like, this is why we need to fix this.
Before we go any further,
Right, exactly.
takes the guesswork out of it, helps everybody stay on the same page.
I love that. And what about photos of like the finished project?
Oh, that's when you really get to shine. When the tile installation is done, you want to capture all that beauty, showcase your work in the best possible light.
You know, show it off.
Show it off, yeah. Think about composition, lighting, angles. How can you really highlight the best features of the design?
And don't be afraid to get creative.
Oh, yeah.
Different perspectives, natural light, artificial light. Capture the little details that tell the story of the project.
Absolutely. Those high-quality photos, they're gold for your portfolio, your marketing, your social media.
Yeah.
They show off your skills, your craftsmanship, and they can help you get more clients.
Right. They're like proof that you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's say you're on a job site visit
Yeah.
and you see an issue.
Uh-oh.
Maybe the substrate's not prepped right,
Right.
or the tile installation's not meeting standards. What do?
Don't panic. First rule.
Okay, don't panic.
Take a deep breath. Every project has its challenges. It's how you respond that makes all the difference.
So don't freak out. Just kind of be like, okay, this is a thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Okay.
problem-solving time. You're not just there to sell tile. You're there to be a resource, a consultant.
I like that. So instead of just pointing out the problem,
Right.
you want to offer solutions.
Exactly. You're a problem solver.
Okay.
So anyway, by being proactive, offering solutions, you're showing your expertise, building trust with the client.
Right. Showing you're not just there to complain.
Exactly. You're there to help.
You're there to help. I like that. And remember, even challenging situations can be opportunities
Oh, definitely.
to teach and to impress.
You got it.
So it's all about mindset.
It's all about mindset. You're basically shifting from salesperson mode to consultant mode.
Right.
You're there to help your clients make the best choices for their project.
I like that. And speaking of helping clients make the best choices, that brings us to another really important thing with job site visits.
Okay.
And that is understanding constructability.
Constructability, yes.
And this is something that Claire, the designer from the Mac and Blue YouTube video,
Okay.
really talked about.
Cool.
So constructability basically means understanding
Okay.
how a design can actually be built in the real world.
Yeah.
So it's like bridging that gap between like the vision and the paper
Right.
and like the actual limitations of the space.
It's like you can draw whatever you want on paper,
Right.
but if you can't actually build it, it's not worth much.
Exactly. And that's where job site visits are so important
Yeah.
because you can really see the space.
Right.
You can see what the challenges are.
You can spot potential issues before they become big problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Claire actually mentions that she includes job site visits as part of her fixed fee.
That's smart.
Yeah, it is smart because it shows her clients that she's committed to being there throughout the whole process, not just the design phase.
Not just the pretty pictures. Yeah.
Right. And it also shows that she understands that design isn't just about aesthetics.
It's about function, too.
Yeah.
It's got to work in the real world.
It's got to work.
Yeah.
It's got to be buildable.
Buildable and meet the client's needs, ultimately.
Right.
That's the goal.
And speaking of meeting the client's needs, let's talk about asking the right questions on a job site.
Good questions.
And our job site visit checklist has a whole section on this,
Okay.
which is great.
Yeah.
I used to just like wing it,
Yeah, I've been there.
but having a list of questions really makes a difference.
It's like a cheat sheet for success.
It is.
You go in there prepared, you ask the right questions, you get the information you need, you look like a pro.
And you impress the client.
Exactly.
So give me some examples. What are some of the magic questions from this checklist?
Okay, well, one of the simplest but most effective ones is, what are your biggest concerns about this project.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it gets right to the heart of the matter, you know? It shows the client that you're really listening to them.
Right. You're not just there to talk about yourself.
Exactly. You're there to understand their needs.
Yeah.
Another good one is, can you walk me through your vision for this space?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's open-ended, you know? It lets the client really share their thoughts, and it helps you understand their overall goals.
And it shows that you respect their ideas.
Mhm.
You're not just trying to force your own vision on them.
You're collaborating.
Right.
Working together to create something special.
I like that.
Yeah.
What about, like, are there any existing conditions we need to be aware of?
Oh, that's a crucial one. That helps you identify potential challenges early on, you know, like uneven floors or plumbing issues or structural limitations, things that could really throw a wrench in the works.
And, you know,
Yeah.
I used to think that, like, pointing out those things
Yeah.
would make me look bad.
Like, oh, I didn't notice that before.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
But actually, it's the opposite
Yeah.
because it shows you're paying attention.
It shows you're thorough.
Right.
You're detail-oriented. You're committed to finding solutions.
And it's better to catch those problems early on
Oh, absolutely.
and to have them blow up later.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
So, okay, we ask the right questions.
Right.
We're listening.
What's next?
Then we document the answers.
Oh, yes. Documentation is key.
Documentation, always.
You got to write it all down, take photos, maybe even videos if it's appropriate. Job sites, they're like living, breathing things. You know, there's so many moving parts, so many people involved. You got to keep track of everything.
It's like you're a detective.
Exactly. A tile detective gathering all the clues.
Solving the mystery of the perfect tile installation.
I love it.
And speaking of mysteries, let's talk about lippage.
Ooh, lippage. The bane of every tile setter's existence.
It's tricky.
It is tricky.
Our checklist actually has a really clever trick
Okay.
for measuring lippage using 2 dimes.
2 dimes. Okay, I gotta hear this.
Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it, but I'm not sure I totally get it.
Okay, so basically you stack 2 dimes on top of each other
Okay.
and you slide them across the tile.
Right.
And if both dimes slide smoothly onto the next tile, you're good to go.
Okay, smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing.
Mm-hmm.
If one dime sticks,
Okay.
but the top dime slides on,
Right.
that's generally acceptable.
All right.
But if both dimes stick,
Uh-oh.
that means you've got excessive lippage.
Got it.
It's out of spec.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And it needs to be fixed.
So the dimes, they're like a little lippage detector.
Exactly.
A very low-tech but effective lippage detector.
Right. And it's a way to actually show the client what lippage looks like.
Yeah, you can't argue with the dimes.
You can't argue with the dime.
It's a very visual, very tangible way to explain it.
Exactly. And if there's any question about it, document it.
Take a picture.
Take a picture.
Video, whatever.
Document, document, document. So, okay.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about turning challenges into opportunities on a job site.
Okay, I like that.
Because things don't always go according to plan, right?
Never.
That's the beauty of it, right? Keeps you on your toes.
It does keep you on your toes. So how can we look at those challenges and see them as opportunities?
Well, first of all, remember that every challenge is a chance to learn and grow. You know, it's like a little puzzle to solve.
I like that.
Yeah. And when you solve that puzzle, you come out stronger, more knowledgeable.
So give me an example. Let's say you arrive at a job site
Okay.
and the substrate's not prepped right.
Uh-oh.
What do you do?
Okay. Well, first I take a deep breath. No panicking.
Deep breaths?
Deep breaths.
Yeah.
We got this.
Yeah.
And then I calmly explain the situation to the client and the contractor. You know, I emphasize how important proper substrate prep is for a successful tile installation.
So you're educating them. Exactly. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just laying out the facts.
And you're offering solutions.
Of course. I'm a problem solver, remember?
You're a problem solver.
Yeah, so I might recommend a qualified installer who can properly prepare the substrate, or maybe suggest some alternative tile products that are a little more forgiving if the substrate's not perfect.
Right, so you're not just pointing out the problem.
I'm coming to the table with solutions.
You're coming with the solution.
Yeah, and that builds trust with the client.
Yeah.
It shows them that you're on their team. You're there to help them get the best possible outcome.
And it goes back to that idea of being a resource.
Exactly. You're not just selling tile.
Right.
You're offering your expertise, your support, your problem-solving skills.
You're becoming a trusted advisor.
That's the goal.
And that's really valuable.
It is.
Now, sometimes the best opportunities come from unexpected places.
Oh, yeah. That's the fun part.
What do you mean by that?
Well, let's say you're on a job site and You overhear the client talking about their plans to remodel their bathroom.
Ooh, that's an opportunity.
It is, so you can casually mention that you specialize in bathroom tile design,
Right.
offer to share some ideas,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even schedule a consultation.
It's all about being proactive,
Mm-hmm.
looking for ways to add value,
Planting seeds.
planting seeds. I like that.
You never know what might sprout.
Okay, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
there's one more thing I want to talk about.
Right.
Lighting,
Lighting.
the unsung hero of tile installation.
It really is. It can make or break the whole look.
And our job site visit checklist actually mentions this specifically.
Okay.
Assessing the lighting conditions on site,
Makes sense.
because lighting can really affect how the tile looks and performs.
It totally does. I mean, I've seen tile that looked amazing in the showroom, but then you get it on site and lighting's different, and it's like, what happened?
Right, it can look completely different.
Totally different.
So when you're on site, make sure you pay attention to the lighting. Is it natural light? Is it artificial light? Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it dim? Is it bright? All of those factors can affect the final look of the tile.
Yeah. And if you have any concerns, you got to bring them up with the client and the contractor.
Right.
Like if the lighting's too harsh, for example, it might highlight imperfections in the tile that wouldn't be noticeable under softer lighting.
Or if lighting's too dim, it might make the tile look dull and lifeless.
Exactly. So you got to be aware of the lighting and make sure it's going to work with the tile you've chosen.
Right.
It's all part of the puzzle.
It is all part of the puzzle.
Wow, this has been such a great conversation.
I know, right?
I feel like I've learned so much about job site visits.
Me too. We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have, from respect and safety to asking the right questions, documenting everything,
Problem solving, building relationships.
turning challenges into opportunities.
It's all connected.
And we got some really great tips from our sources. Yeah, Elliott Vigil, Mac and Blue, and that handy-dandy job site visit checklist.
Yes.
Don't leave home without it.
So, listeners, remember, mastering the art of the job site visit takes practice
Mm-hmm.
and a willingness to learn and grow.
Always be learning.
Always be learning. But by using these tips,
Yeah.
you can transform your job site visits
Yeah.
from routine checkups
Yeah.
to opportunities to impress your clients.
Build relationships, create amazing tile installations.
And maybe even have some fun along the way.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have fun.
But there's still more to come.
That's right.
In the next part of our deep dive, we're going to be talking about specific strategies for working effectively with contractors and subcontractors on a job site.
Can't wait.
So stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the deep dive.
We're back.
So we've been talking about all these different aspects of job site visits.
Yeah. Lots to cover.
But I want to focus in on something that can be a little tricky,
Okay.
which is navigating all those relationships
Oh, yeah.
between the designers and the salespeople and the contractors.
Right. And the subcontractors. Everybody's got their role to play.
Everybody's got their role.
It's like a big dance.
It is a big dance. And Elliott Vigil, our sales trainer from the YouTube video,
Yeah.
he actually had some really good insights on this.
Okay.
He really emphasized not overstepping boundaries,
Right. Knowing your place.
knowing your place,
Yeah.
and recognizing that the general contractor is ultimately in charge.
The GC's the boss.
The GC's the boss.
Yeah.
And he had this great analogy where he said, salespeople shouldn't try to wear the GC's hat.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not the GC. Don't try to be the GC.
Don't try to be the GC. Respect the chain of command.
Right?
Don't try to micromanage.
Yeah, let the GC do their job. You do your job.
Right. Our job is to be there.
Support.
Support.
Offer solutions.
Offer solutions, expertise.
But ultimately, the GC's calling the shots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we strike that balance between being helpful and being overbearing?
Well, communication is key.
Communication always.
Always. You got to establish clear lines of communication with the GC right from the start. And keep them in the loop. Any changes, any updates, anything that might affect their work, let them know.
And it's not just about communicating with the GC. It's about the subcontractors, too.
No, absolutely. The subs are crucial. Vigil actually suggests reaching out to them directly even before the job site visit.
Oh, interesting. Before you even get there.
Yeah, just to introduce yourself, learn a little bit about their expertise, build that rapport.
So, like, what kind of things would you talk about?
You could ask about their preferred methods for tile installation, any challenges they foresee with the project, how you can best support their work.
That's really smart. It shows them that you respect their expertise.
Exactly. You're not just some salesperson trying to push product. You're a partner. You're there to help them succeed.
And by understanding their perspective,
Yeah.
you can get a lot of insights that you might not see just from the plans.
Totally. The subs are in the trenches. They know what's really going on.
Right. I used to be kind of hesitant to reach out to subcontractors directly.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I would be stepping on the GC's toes.
I get it.
But I realize now it's actually a sign of respect.
It is. It shows you're taking the project seriously. You're willing to go the extra mile to make sure everything goes smoothly.
It's all about teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Okay, but what about those situations where there are disagreements or conflicts on the job site?
Ooh, yeah, that happens.
How do you handle those?
Well, first of all, stay calm, stay professional. Everybody's under pressure.
Tensions can run high.
Yeah, it's a construction site. Things happen. But remember, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
Okay, so be sweet.
Be sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
Approach the situation with a collaborative mindset. Try to understand where the other person is coming from.
So figure out what the root of the problem is.
Exactly. Is it a miscommunication? Is it a difference of opinion about how the tile should be installed? Is it a scheduling issue? Once you understand the problem, you can start finding solutions.
And sometimes the best solution is just to listen.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes people just need to vent. Let them vent. Listen attentively, acknowledge their concerns, and often that's enough to diffuse the situation.
And of course, document, document, document.
Always document.
If there's any kind of disagreement or conflict, write it down, take pictures, take videos.
CYA.
CYA, exactly.
You gotta protect yourself.
Protect yourself, protect the client.
Yeah, it's all about protecting everyone involved.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive.
I know, right? We covered so much ground.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of job site visits.
Yeah. Here?
From the importance of respect and safety, to the art of asking the right questions, documenting everything, problem solving, building relationships.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. And we learned some great tips from Elliott Vigil,
Mac and Blue, our checklist.
that checklist.
It's a good one.
So listeners, remember, mastering the art of the job site visit takes practice
Mm-hmm.
and a willingness to learn and grow.
Always be learning.
But by using these insights, you can really transform your job site visits. From routine checkups to opportunities to impress your clients,
Yeah.
build those relationships, create amazing tile installations,
That's what it's all about.
and maybe even have a little fun along the way.
Gotta have fun.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into job site visits.
Thanks for joining us.
If you want to continue the conversation, be sure to connect with Craig at Tile Nerd Army on Instagram.
And for all your tile and stone needs, visit tilebar.com.
Until next time, happy tiling.